I could be cliche and play the old Teen Titans theme song, but I am not going to. What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the premiere of Titans Season 2. Now, I talked about Season 1 in depth on my channel, so if you want to see my thoughts, you can go to that video. My thoughts have not shifted a bit, but I don't like the show as much now. Still enjoyed it, but I don't like Season 1 as much now after seeing shows like Doom Patrol and Swamp Thing, seeing what the DC Universe can do with their shows, right? It's probably my least favorite live-action thing that they've done so far, but I'm excited for Season 2 and the possibility of kind of shifting the tone a bit, which they began to do in this episode, so today we're going to talk about it. I need your comments down below. We are going to dive into details, so if you haven't seen this episode, go check it out. So in this episode titled Trigon, the season premiere continues the apocalyptic events of last season as Trigon sets out to win the Titans over to his side by embracing their inner darkness. And obviously fans of this show are going to be watching this video, and I want to get the negatives out of the way first because I really do have some positives for this episode, and I'm excited to see where this show goes. I feel like it's going in the right direction. So many things that they set up in Season 1 worked super well for me, and then other things, not so much. And I hope they kind of exclude those elements and go in the direction that I think a lot of fans want them to go in, and that is forming this team, focusing on the fact that they are a team, and kind of getting away from the melodramatic elements from the first season, leaning more into the humor, leaning more into the darkness, and not in a way that's overwhelming, overbearing, kind of like how Season 1 was at points, right? And this episode really is, to me, half really good and half just a finale to Season 1. And that's what I don't understand is why not make the first half of this episode the season finale last season? And we know that they had a plan to give us one more episode last season, but for some reason they just kind of decided to shift things around and shorten it a bit. And that's one thing that I felt didn't really work. Leaving that on the cliffhanger that they did and then bringing it back in this season, I think is the worst possible avenue you can go because it's been a while and some people may have forgotten a few elements of what happened, and it really did. It just felt like a season finale because once they fix the issue here, once the characters explore their darkness and they come together and they fight and Raven defeats Trigon, which, you know, felt a little bit easy, but you can't do too much with CGI, so I'm like, all right. Fine, he's out of the way. But it all felt like a season finale because the characters, they're like, all right, see you later, and they go their separate ways, but they really do set up what is to come this season, and we're dealing with Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, which I am monumentally excited for. The guy looks great as Deathstroke. We also got to look at Bruce Wayne, but once again, it all just feels like a season finale, and I would have much preferred to have it in Season 1. Austin, we don't care. Talk about the content. Well, this episode was full of some really great character moments. I mean, Robin, Dick Grayson, exploring his past, and the moment between he and Raven when she says, you're going to either catch me or I'm not going to make it, I thought was really impactful, and that's when everything started to come back to me. I'm like, oh, their relationship was one of the best parts of Season 1, and you see that kind of come to light here, and then flash forwarding real quick to the end of the episode when they're walking through what the old Titans team, Titans facility used to be, and now kind of converting that for this new team of a Beast Boy and a young Robin and a Raven, I thought was really exciting. And just the entire buildup of what these characters can now become in this season, really becoming the Teen Titans, right? What we've all been waiting to see. And, you know, Starfire, she goes off and characters are going out and doing their own things, and we will definitely catch back up with them. And I guarantee you that the team will all come together at some point in this season because we have Deathstroke now, we have to deal with that. But there were really cool moments in this episode, moments that once again would have enhanced Season 1. Robin versus Robin, I thought was great. The moment where Starfire doesn't really, but burns Raven to a crisp was like, dang, like, that's intense. Beast Boy had some nice lines of dialogue in this episode. I feel like I like the characters more in this episode than I did in any other standalone episode in Season 1, and this is really just kind of catching back up with the situation that they're in. My biggest complaint about this episode, other than the fact that it should have been the finale, is the villain and how Trigon actually got defeated. It just felt like we've got to get him out of the way because we got to make room for Deathstroke, who's not going to be all CGI, whereas Trigon was all CGI, and it is not the best CGI. But once again, I don't fault them for that, but it felt a bit too easy for me. Now, I'm sure it wasn't easy for Raven because she had to conjure up all of her strength and really the emotion that she's been carrying with her for an entire season. So, in terms of her story arc, I liked it for that reason, but the overall story and the fact that Trigon was building up all throughout season 1, and then 15 minutes in, boom, gone. And they had to go through a lot in this episode, and each character had to fight their own battle, but when it came to Trigon v. Raven, as a comic book fan, I wanted to see a bit more. I feel like the threat of Trigon was so much greater in the animated show. Once again, budget restrictions, and they just want to make room for Deathstroke, and that's, I think, the route they want the season to go, and it really does. It feels like they're shifting a bit into something that I'm excited for more so than I was any part of season 1, and the direction that they're going in could start to harken back even more to the Titans that we know and love. And of course, we got Bruce Wayne. Didn't get Batman, but we got Bruce Wayne, and I'm still trying to get used to the voice. It's not the most Bruce Wayne voice I've ever heard, and he is significantly older than I expected him to be before they cast him, but you have a phenomenal actor, and you have someone who's going to bring a lot of gravitas to that role who otherwise could have been miscast. So I'm happy they got him. I'm excited to see what role Bruce Wayne plays into the season because you have him. You guys have to use him, but the big question I have for you guys is, did you enjoy this first episode of season 2? And do you think this show is on the right track to bring us a successful season 2? I want to see and hear what you guys think down below, and let me know how much more Titans coverage you'd like to see. Don't know if I'm going to do every single episode, but I might do a recap every 2 or 3 weeks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate all of your support, whether it's on my superhero reviews, my movie reviews, my Netflix reviews, whatever it is. You guys are truly the absolute best, and I'll be back very soon with a Netflix series review.